Yes, now we're on.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So, Brother Eche, good evening. Lovely to see wonderful Dhamma friends joining for our little Dhamma discussion. So, again, on this Tuesday evening. So, whoever listens to this at some point, may this help you to bring some light into your world. So, today's topic is ignorance. So, it is a Dhamma discussion. So, please feel free to, interact, ask questions, or give your feedback, give your input. So, when you want to speak, if you just press the little hand, then I know that you want to speak, because if we don't turn off the mic when the other person is speaking, we get an echo. All right. So please just raise your hand and then I will turn off my mic. And anytime you want to speak, just do so. You do not have to wait until I stop speaking. All right. So, ignorance. So, would anyone like to say what is ignorance, or just explain a little bit what is ignorance with your understanding?
So
Wherever you stand.
this is probably not a good definition, but absence of right view. So we have a wrong view, and that is called ignorance. But then we get to the what is the right view, and but it seems that way to me.
Absolutely, yes. So right, that's right. So the ignorance, or avidya, in avidya or avidya, depending on if you say in Pali or Sanskrit, is in a very simple way. Vidya means to know how things work. So the English translation for vidya is science. So science looks into how things work, right? So so avidya means when something is adds on, it means like the negative uh, part, the meaning of it. So someone does not know how things work. So we practice like in vipassana. So when we go from samadhi to vipassana, we look at things. We look at how things come to be as they are, how things work, what are the causes and effects. So something like that is the vidya, which is the view, the clear understanding. So yes, very good. So why do you think people have ignorance? Go
My
ahead, Alex.
understanding is attachments. Attachments are the root of the ignorance, the tanha.
And yes, attachment, absolutely. So craving, the Buddha said, like, as you know, in the dependent origination, paticca samuppada, avidya causes sankhara, uh, sankhara causes vinyan. So the ignorance causes the I think volitions in English word, and then that causes the consciousness to arise again. So as you know, the five aggregates, there's the system of how each consciousness arises from our senses. So the the not the so you need to have the craving, like Alex says, the tanha, the craving attached with the ignorance, which then leads to uh, the thought processes, and using your memory, and then making a new a version, which is basically what the new consciousness uh, will be. Okay. So ignorance is not knowing something. So if you break, so there's many ways to look at it. So it's being unskillful. So we all know taking 5 precepts or 8 precepts or 10 precepts. So that is like your baseline. So at least if you practice 5 precepts every day, you take them in the morning, you try to observe them during your day, your life, during your daily routines, and see, okay, am I applying the 5 precepts to my uh, life? Am I being skillful with my bodily, verbal, mental actions? Um, so then, when you start to apply the precepts, you start to become what we call more profitable in your actions through your bodily, verbal, mental actions. And so, when you're more profitable, that helps to reduce the greed, hatred, and delusion. Right? So, the greed, hatred, and delusion is what causes uh, us to have it's like the clouds in our thinking pattern, because deep down in the our authentic self, we are all like pure beings. Like they say, we all have the Buddha nature in us. So, and but it's all covered up with all this darkness, this greed, hatred, delusion. So what we have to do is, through our practice of everyday life, is to apply the in a very simple way, apply the precepts and try to reduce the greed, hatred, and delusion. And as that reduces,
Uh,
Mhm.
is enough to practice just meditation, just meditation on breath. Is that enough, or to reduce all that which you talk about, or we must have knowledge and we must read and listen to Dharma, or we just need to meditate?
Excellent question. Just sitting and observing the breath is the more higher skills. So that's not enough at all, because a lot of people, as you will find, Marco, is a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't sit. I can't observe my breath. My mind is running everywhere." Right. So we have to go back to the basics. You have to learn to be skillful with your bodily actions first. Right. uh, it's in your if you look at the 5 precepts, we say not to kill. The bodily actions will be not to kill, not to take things that are not which we do not own, and to control the senses, right? Control your speech, and not to take intoxicants, right? So those are technically helping you to be profitable with your physical and verbal actions. So the sitting and observing the breath is like a more advanced practice. That is why a lot of people cannot do it. So in order to get there, you have to start from the basic. Yeah. Because as we know, if our mind is not calm, if our body is, like, say, not calm, the physical body, naturally that means the mind is not calm, because the mind, the consciousness, the thought patterns is what controls our physical and our verbal behavior, right? Because we have to think to do something, isn't it? Because when we're dead, nothing moves, right? Nothing works. Yeah. Understand? So far so good, Marco?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yes.
understand. I
Mhm.
think everything start and everything end with our mind and in our mind. And
Absolutely.
because of that, I see that the most important thing is make that mind calm. And as I see, that is most important thing in moment of that. And old point is stay calm. That is maybe too easy to say, but that is not so easy. But I see all point of all knowledge and all reading and all that finally it's point to calm our mind. I understand that like that.
Absolutely, yeah. So you remember on retreat, we were saying, to even if your mind runs, to just to sit still, not to talk. And then when we do walking meditation, we do very, very slowly. So when we slow down the system, so that naturally calms the mind, right? You've experienced
You
that, isn't it?
remember that, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So then when the mind starts to calm down, then you can, like, then you can sit, either sitting, standing, walking, lying down. So most of the time we do sitting practice. And then as the mind really starts to become still, then we start to see the mind. Oh, what's going on? What is this thought that's coming into my mind? Okay, then we can break down the thought into the basics. Is this thought, does it have greed? Does it have hatred? Or is it delusion? Or the opposite? Does it have compassion, generosity, or wisdom? Yeah, makes sense? Understand so far? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So ignorance. So basically, we can apply ignorance to also when people, there's so many people in the world. They're like, especially nowadays with the modern world, people are so busy. They're busy with their phones. They're busy with their jobs. They're busy with looking after themselves. There's nothing wrong, but it's knowing to have control of everything, having a line. I draw the line at this. I'm not going to use the phone all throughout the day. I will have time to use the phone, maybe to call someone important, or to, check if there's any. Obviously, if you use it for work, you have a certain time to use it, and then you prioritize. Give some time every day to have stillness, just to read the Dhamma, listen to the Dhamma, because when you're listening or reading to the Dhamma, that time that you spend, if you really pay attention to what you're doing, it's going to reduce your greed, hatred, and delusion, because you're doing something which is very, uh, it helps you to grow, right? It's going to give you skills, it's going to give you knowledge of how to apply, what to apply when you practice. So Dhamma is your map. The teachings is your map, but you have to go on the journey. So if you do not have the map, you're like somebody who's just driving and you have no idea how to get to your destination, right? So some people, they just sit and meditate, but they have no idea of the teachings. Um, so they're kind of lost. They may be able to sit and be really calm, but all they're doing is just sitting there being really calm. They don't know what to look for. Yeah, how to observe and kind of analyze. Oh, okay, this is happening because of this. Yeah, so far so good. Any questions? Everyone okay? Yeah,
Yes, yes.
great. Good. So yeah, so that is why it's very, very important to have a balance. So you have a balance of uh, keep, very simply, practice the precepts, take the precepts every day, and try to, these are not rules. They're guidelines, right? Don't take life. Don't take things that do not belong to you. It doesn't have to be an object. It can be a somebody's peace of mind. If you shout at somebody, so you're disturbing them. So that is in a way the second precept, taking something that doesn't belong to you. Someone's peace of mind is that person's peace of mind, and who are we to disturb that? That is really not nice. And so just very it's really is quite, if you keep it very simple, and then as you practice, you see it on a lot bigger, like a visual, you can see many things that you can apply the five precepts to. So then you do your reading, you have noble friends, very important, like this. Vani?
So when you have a lot of knowledge, you also don't need to fear that. Am I right?
Sorry, when you have all the knowledge, I'm sorry, can you please repeat that?
If you have enough knowledge and so you automatically don't fear death because
Absolutely.
you know that that is not end. Am I right?
You read about it, you practice, and then you don't have a fear of death, because you know, if you're being profitable, then you know your journey will be good in the future, right? And obviously, if you're a stream mentorer or anything after that, you definitely know that only a few more lives and then your cycle will be finished.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So ignorance can be many, it's many things. So ignorance of not knowing, not being aware of your bodily actions, your verbal actions, and your mental actions. So yeah. So
Yes.
mm-hmm.
My practice helped me a lot realize that I don't fear anything anymore
Good, excellent.
except the height.
Except the
Except the height.
oh, that's okay. That's okay. You're working on that. You don't worry. That's not that important. So Vanya has a fear of heights. So we have to take you. They have to take you on one of these, like the gondola. You didn't get a chance to go on the gondola when you came to Montenegro, right? Maybe, but it's not that very high. But one day you can conquer that. So, but that's okay. That's not that important. So important thing is that you are practicing, profitable actions. Yeah. So mhm. That's okay, Nemanja. Thank you for coming in, and we'll see you soon.
Pleasure to
Yeah. And so,
one
just please,
time,
any questions?
one time I heard that we have human beings have only one fear, and that is fear of death, and all other fear is in connection and have root in that fear.
Absolutely. This is something we talked about on the retreat. It's like, animals, like, we're basically animals, right? We're type of animal. And animals they live on reflex, right? So they either fight or they run away. Yeah. So they do that in order to protect themselves, in order to live. So as humans, we have the same. So our basic, instinct is to survive, and we have a fear of dying. And but the, as humans, we have awareness, so we can, through the practice of awareness, by growing the awareness, by making it stronger, we then, when we see things as they are, we start to see, okay, this is not a self here, this is all, little bits connected together. Remember, Marco, we were practicing on our retreat, yeah, parts of the body, and yeah, everything coming together.
Kesa, Laka.
Yes, Kesa, Loma, Naka, Danta, Tacha.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the other 30, myself,
42 parts of the body.
40, yes, yeah, 42, right? 42 parts of the body. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we know, like, everything, it's all pieces coming together. They're working. Uh, you know, as if you look after your body, it will be in sync, synchronizing. And this is an amazing machine. But then, coming out of the ignorance, then you start to lose your sense of self. This is me. This is I. This is mine. Yeah. And then, as that letting go starts to happen, then naturally your fear of death becomes less, because there is really no one to lose here. Yeah. It's all conditioned. Any questions? Anyone like to add?
Yeah, maybe when we realizing that in our head who we really are, in that moment we lose that fear of that, because we have that fear because we are in connection with our body, and we think that we are this body, and when we uh, change that in our head, we start to lose that fear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly right. Yeah. So this is how the Dhamma helps us to practice. Yeah. So like the Buddha said, the most important thing on our journey is noble friends, Kalyana Mitta, right? If you don't have noble friends, there is you may know all the knowledge, you may have all the knowledge, you may be an extremely good practitioner, but the what I see in my practice is like, the ego starts to become strong. So that is when the noble friends come in and they kind of help you to kind of break that. And also, when you have noble friends, like everyone is practicing and we all see things from a different angle. So it's good to talk and discuss and to give our ideas. Okay, this is happening like this, what do you think? And so it helps us to kind of uh, break what I call the certain patterns that we may start to get when we practice, and become much more open, much more lighter in our uh, kind of way of thinking. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I think noble friends uh, extremely helpful in the positive and all aspects. I think it's super helpful.
I
Absolutely.
agree. Absolutely. Yeah.
So noble, so having noble friends, having the opportunity to listen to the Dhamma, having the opportunity to practice the Dhamma, and having the ability to recognize it, right?
Yes.
Makes sense, right? So those
Yes.
four are very important in your practice. And those are the ones that are going to help you to reduce and get out of ignorance. Yeah. So noble friends, be, listening, hearing the Dhamma, ability, so you have books to read, you have Dhamma talks, you have, you're hearing the Dhamma, especially now we have YouTube and, many, many things online. We're so blessed. We're in this time in the world, like anyone has, if they have good, you got to have some good karma somewhere to kind of open this door. And then when you start to research, oh, there is something here, and then you have the resources to find the Dhamma, to read it, to hear it. And then, but you got to have the virya, the effort, very important. If you don't have the effort to get out of bed in the morning, your day is kind of like not going to go anywhere, right? You're going to have a lazy day and very unproductive. So same as that. So if you have the effort to practice this, have the effort to be with the noble friends, have the effort to listen to the Dhamma, have the effort to practice the Dhamma, right? And then that will open up it'll start reducing your ignorance, which means your wisdom arises, which means you're going to understand this Dhamma. You're going to know it. You're going to start to feel it. Everything is going to start to make sense. And that helps to reduce more and more of your greed, hatred, and delusion. Can you see how it's working?
Yeah, that is all connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is something like circle. We must
Yeah.
make all that circle to understand.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is why in Buddhism we use the lotus flower. It's like a symbol of the Buddhist teachings. So if you look at the lotus flower, it comes from the mud. So if you kind of compare it to us in this samsara, we're going and going and going due to our ignorance. Lots and lots of greed, hatred, and delusion. So which is like the mud, and you're coming out of the mud. So you have the opportunity to come out of the mud. So slowly, slowly you come out of the mud, and like the flower, it starts to open. So then these four things, it's like when you apply, if you start to apply each one, so it's like the flower opening up, from this little bud to like this beautiful flower with many, many petals, and very fragrant, amazingly beautiful flower. And even when you put water onto the lotus flower, it doesn't hold the water, like the duck. Ducks, they have this, uh, even though they're in the water, when the water falls onto their body, it doesn't stay, it just rolls out, right? There's an English saying, like the water on a duck's back, which means nothing can affect the way I think, I feel. I'm very kind of a cool person. Okay, so the lotus leaf, the lotus flower, I have noticed. So when you put water, the water does not uh, hold onto the little petals of the flower. It just flows away. So it's like it's so pure that uh, it stands strongly by itself, and nothing can affect it. So that's like like an analogy, an example of what we become when we practice the Dhamma, with having noble friends, listening to the Dhamma, practicing it, and helping our wisdom to open up, because the wisdom is inside all of us, like I said at the beginning. So we need to uncover it. Yeah. Any questions or any feedback or any stories from your practice? There any experiences?
I practice short period, and because of that, I don't know what can say about that, because before retreat I didn't meditate maybe 10 minutes on day, and not every day, but after retreat I try to continue that, and I meditate every day, and maybe next time I will say more about that, but for now I'm new in all that.
But that's good. But you see the difference, right? By coming to the retreat.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
First time I I understand why I exactly meditate, what is point of that, and as I say, that is something like picture with more parts, and you need to make that big pictures that open one by one, and I think that I can see much more clearly all that what I read before and listen, but this everyday meditation really helped me to connect all that thing which I do before retreat, but now I can say that I see that more clearly.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so see like the Buddha said, come and see and practice. So you are living proof that when you put the effort, you put the practice, and then things will start to make more and more sense, right? Much more clear with everything.
Yeah, and I speak with Tiepo. He meditates too after retreat, and before retreat, I think that he never meditate, but he said me that he meditates every day. Maybe he will be a monk, as he said one day.
Sadhu, absolutely. I think he's such a calm person, and like you said, he lives like a monk already. So I can't see why he, will not go down that path. But when the time is right, he will take the step. So, and of course, it's a journey. So everyone has their own journey, and the important thing is to keep practicing your uh, physical calmness, your verbal calmness, and then the mental calmness starts to calm. Then you use that mental calmness with what we call our meditation practice, sitting, standing, walking, or lying down. And then you use the teachings through your reading, listen to the Dhamma talks, talking to your noble friends, and then you apply the teachings to your uh, your meditation practice. And then when the mind is like calm and still, you start to see things a lot more clearly. You can apply the teachings and say, oh, that's what it means. This is what's going on now. I'm seeing something, so where do I stop? Rather than seeing something and reacting and saying, okay, I want this or I don't want this. We learn to step back, right? We learn to we naturally practice that little bit time, the gap. We give the gap, and then we say, okay, is this profitable? Is this not profitable? And then you know how to respond. Like you see a beautiful flower, and most people will naturally go to pick it, But then why should we take the beautiful flower? The flower is food for many, many bees, and it gives beauty. Somebody else can see it and appreciate it. It will calm someone's mind. So if we see that, and then we leave it alone, and then we haven't harmed anything, and we let the flower be where it is and provide food for many insects and give some peace to someone's mind. Yeah, so that is, the Pali word ahimsa, like non-violence. So that is on a very simple level, but if we try to practice everything we do, where we are not hurting ourselves and hurting any other being, to the best of our ability, and that helps us to really grow in compassion and obviously awareness, amazing awareness, because you're really you're aware of everything that you're doing, and then you're aware of your mind, your thinking patterns, yeah, and helps you to reduce your greed, hatred, delusion, and thereby reducing your ignorance and the craving. So, and the wisdom starts to come up. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sekelita, for this Dharma talk. I need to go now. I'm happy to meet all of you here, and I see that we will see and we hear soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Marco, for joining us. So we'll end soon.
Pleasure
So,
to meet you. And
and
Thank you, Marco. Pleasure to meet you.
thank you.
Thank you. See you next time.
see you soon. Bless you. Munavlaga, so.
Thank you.
And thank
Thank
you.
you.
And Vanya, Alex, anything you like to add or share from your
Can
practice?
I ask,
Yeah, go ahead.
today my father had to kill. Как скажешь, зоня на английском?
Kako?
Синяк.
Aha, aha.
Синяк.
Wasp hive.
Was okay. Yeah.
He had to destroy it because it could harm us or mother or so. How to see that in perspective of Buddhism, because you have a lot of bad karma if you kill a sentient being. So, but also, so I have this dilemma: how to look at things from this perspective.
Very good question. It happens to a lot of us in the summer, right? Because a lot of wasps come into the garden and they build the houses. Of course, the way, how from my understanding, obviously we live in a world now, we live in cities and we live in developed areas where we're basically sharing our community with not just humans but with other animals, right? So
Yes.
so they have to have a place to live too. Yeah. But
Yes.
like you said, the wasps, yes, of course, they can sting and some people can be allergic and it can cause death because the way it works on humans, like the toxins that they produce, toxins in the sense for us, but not for them. So your father had to do what is necessary to keep you all safe.
He is also allergic on them, so
Yeah. Yes. So what your father did is fine. He had to do something to keep you safe. So all you can do is kind of, in the process of doing it, you just practice metta. You just tell, you kind of, it's like when we're cutting a tree. So you practice metta, you just tell, kind of, it's kind of like telling the boss, look, I'm really sorry. I have to remove your house because I have to protect my family. Okay.
I
And
see.
then, yeah, and then you just wish them well. Try to, if your father has to probably take the house out, right, and maybe remove it and put it somewhere else. I don't know how it depends on, or you just break the house.
He used some
Smoke.
toxins or some sprays.
Praise, yeah. So yeah, some people would do that. So it's all you can do is ideally it would be good to maybe, I mean, it depends on where we live and if there are facilities to do so, because in some parts of the world you can, if there is like a wasp house or something, there are specialist people who can come, they remove it, they take the wasps to like a different place, where nothing will be killed, right? But we don't always live in places that's available, right? So yeah, so we have to be practical. So all you can do is try to be as non-violent as you can, and just tell them, you kind of tell the boss, look, really sorry, I'm doing this to protect my family. I wish you all well, and remove the house to the best, like I said, do it in a way that you're going to not, um, harm them, like, reduce the harm that you're going to cause on them.
Yes, I see. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And if harm has occurred, you kind of, don't dwell on it. Don't think about it, thinking, oh no, I did this. It's done. Just wish them well wherever they may be. If some was died, just wish them well to be in a better life, and that's all you can. Then, don't keep thinking about the negative action, because you're just going to keep giving that energy, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, yeah. But in any circumstance in our life, if something like say in the house, right, we have to clean the cobwebs. Yeah, and
Yeah.
cobwebs are houses for the spiders, isn't it? But you try to clean them so you're not harming the spiders, because they will run away and then they will build again. It's okay. So you just say, look, you got to be kind of kind and say, look, I'm really sorry, but I have to keep it's like cleaning the house. And I know we're living all together in this big, this planet Earth, and we all have to share our places. And you just wish them well, and
Yes.
try not to harm them. So, because we can't go to extremes, like in Jainism, people, they sweep the street before they walk, because they don't want to harm what they say, let harm as less living creatures as possible when they walk. But we can't be like that. It's not practical. And like the Buddha said, the intention is what causes the karma. So when you kill, when you're like, say, if someone kills a living being, there are 5 aspects that must be completed before that karma becomes a reaction. Yeah, to killing. So one is, you have to see the being that's going to be killed, right? To know, like, say, for instance, so let's say, with your case today, we got the wasp, right? So you see the wasp, right? You identify, okay, I'm going to kill you, right? You see it and right, okay, I'm going to kill you. How am I going to kill you? Yeah. Then you have the weapon to kill it. Number 3. Yeah. The
Yes.
means to kill it. Then you kill it, physically kill it. And then you confirm that it's dead. You check, okay, are you dead? Yes, you are. So those 5 things. Would you like me to repeat?
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. If you completed those 5 things, then the result of killing will come back to you as a karmic result. If those 5 things are not complete, the karmic result of killing is not as strong. So, but if you have an intention of wanting to kill, so there will be some reaction, but not as strong.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. And always, like I said, whenever something happens that you feel like uncomfortable, and you think, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, don't keep thinking about that. Don't bring it up. Just forget about it. Let it go. It's happened. It's done. And learn from it. Make the incident, to make it the teaching for you to be more profitable next time.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's all we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. And always cultivate, as much as you can, always, be profitable in your actions, your physical, verbal, mental actions. Try to be as profitable as you can, because we don't know what we've done in our past lives, right? Billions and billions of lives before. So anytime good or bad reactions can come. So, but if we are being profitable in our actions and we are practicing awareness, when things happen to us that we feel it's not comfortable, it's difficult, then we know how to handle it. We are much more stronger to look at it from a different, different, from like a more open view, from like a higher view, and to see, okay, this is what's going on. How do I approach this difficult situation? Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is how you help the whatever, say, if you have what we call bad karmic reactions, if when bad, everybody likes to have good times, people don't like bad times, right? It's it's normal. We're human beings. So when what we call bad stuff starts to happen, then you think, okay, so this is obviously not necessarily karma. This could be many other factors, right? But we are more wiser to approach it in a much more profitable way. So use the English saying, when you have lemons, you make lemonade. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because lemons, you can't really cook with them. You can pretty much, and not everybody likes lemons, but everybody kind of likes lemonade. So you get a bad situation and you turn it to a good one.
I see. Thank you very much.
That's okay. You're welcome. That was a very good question. And Alex, do you have anything?
Nothing, but I do agree that that was a good question. I also have some bugs. Fortunately, there are not a lot of bugs, but if I had a wasps in my apartment, I would be struggling with the same question. So that was a good question.
Bless you. Yeah, wasps are everywhere. I have a little, one day remembers, I have a little pond in my garden. And so it's like a huge little basin for them. They're all swimming happily and chilling. So I just leave them alone. I just, make sure the water's topped up and it's clean. So they have a nice little pool.
Enjoying. Definitely.
I don't go and disturb them. So I like, okay, you guys hang out there. It's the heat because it's so hot. So they need somewhere to cool down. So, and this is through my own practice. I say this, and I know the Buddha, in his wisdom has said this too. When you practice metta, you practice loving kindness, you chant the Karaniya Metta Sutta every day. It's amazing how animals feel your energy and they don't harm you. So yeah, I go near the wasps. I never get stung because I have strong, faith that the metta is working. So
I definitely understand.
yeah, it's beautiful how because you become much more peaceful with everything, and you accept. And if you don't have like hatred or anything towards that being, they feel that, right? So,
Of course. Yeah.
yeah. So, I'm not going to say go and sit in a box of wasps, but of course the chances of being bitten is quite high because you're putting yourself into an unusual situation. But if you happen to go through somewhere where there are wasps, so if you're practicing metta, the probability of you being stung will be a lot less than someone who's not practicing it.
I saw a video in somewhere, I don't remember when.
Mm-hmm.
Some recluse hermit live in a cave with wasps, together with wolves, and they never stung him, like,
Yeah,
at all.
I can imagine. Absolutely. So they're probably very, very, their practice of metta and peacefulness, in their mind. Because when we're at peace, we don't have fear, right?
Yes.
We accept everything and anything. So I can completely understand. Yeah. Because until we have that, remember going back to the fear of death, we have this instinctively, until we go through this and clear this ignorance, we have the fear of death. So and we are conditioned, oh, okay, wasps bite, they sting, if they sting, you will get a reaction, you probably won't be able to breathe. So then that is constantly working in the back of our mind, and then it's like, okay, I shouldn't go near this little being because it's not nature, its nature is to bite. Of course, its nature is to bite because it's an animal. It feels a threat, right? So that is why they bite. Not they don't bite just because, oh, there's a human, let me go and bite it. No, they bite if they have fear. But if they feel our peace, then they're not going to bite. They can be on us, but they won't sting. So yeah. So
Yes.
yeah. So it's a good way every summer, right, to practice our level of metta. How have we been practicing our metta?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good test.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So good test to see who how if all the little bugs are kind of staying away from us, or they're kind of hanging out with us, but they're not doing anything.
One question about the monks, if I can.
Yeah.
Can you live like a hermit and still become monk, or is it needed to be associated with monastery?
Can you become, like, you mean you can become a monk or a nun and not live in a monastery?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. Well, I do.
I
Yeah.
mean, you don't need to be associated with any monastery, or you.
You need a teacher, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, I have my teacher in London, so that's my what we call the monastery. So if I need any guidance, my teacher is there. If I need to go to the monastery, of course, I would go there. So you do need, but it doesn't necessarily mean you need to live in a monastery. You can live alone. Absolutely. If you feel for your practice, you're better to be alone, of course, do that, because monastery life doesn't always help to improve your practice. Because sometimes monasteries become very busy and you don't have time for your practice. So you have to, according to how you want to practice, you need to choose either monastery or to live alone. But not everyone can live by themselves. So you have to find, what works for you. Yeah. But yeah. But if you do live alone, always make time to visit the monastery, be with your teachers, then teach others, be with other people who are practicing, because we need time to be with others, because as humans, we are not conditioned to be by ourselves. And also in the practice, if you're always by yourself, your ego can start to become very strong. The ego of, oh, I am better than everyone else, I know everything, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So so you need to be outside and expose yourself, and then you will see, okay, I have weaknesses, I need to work on these, right?
Yeah.
I'm having hatred to noise, I'm having hatred to people who don't think, like so highly of me. You see, right? So we have to expose ourselves to the outside world. And then you see, okay, these are my weak points. I need to work on this. And then you get back to your little cave and then you start to work on it.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are monks and nuns who live solitude lives. But personally, I would say it is you. I know you know how every individual will know. Can I be by myself or do I need to be in a monastery surrounding? But I always encourage, if you are in a monastery surrounding, choose wisely. Choose a place where you can practice and you will have people.
Chortons will be perfect for me. So.
Yeah, yeah. Chortons is a beautiful place. It's quiet.
Very quiet and
Yeah, peaceful, and you have the ability to practice, and very, very nice people coming there who are genuinely, practicing well, and it's a great place. So absolutely, if he was closer to me, I would be there every day.
I understand definitely.
Yeah. So
When I finish my duties, I'm definitely going there. So
wonderful.
we are seeing each other soon again.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. So, and how about Alex? Any questions?
No, no additional questions.
Everything's at ease. Yeah. Well, we kind of touched a little bit on ignorance, and so there's it's a huge subject, but important thing is to try to practice so you reduce your ignorance, right? So reduce greed, hatred, delusion, and then you're growing with compassion, generosity, wisdom, and that helps you to reduce your ignorance in a very simple way, but many ways to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I have one thing to share. So, what is also I find this beautiful in the teaching. So, in the good plan, when you make a good plan, even for business or even for your personal life, you start from the top. Like let's say in here, the ignorance is the root. So you know the problem. Then you make it more and more granular and make it more tangible. So then we have attachments. Then we have those even more granular, like what kind of things you don't see, and hatred, delusion, and as we go down, we go to more and more concrete. So it's not different, but it's more granular. Like then we come to you practice your precepts, so it becomes more and more detailed map as you go. But it goes right to the top.
Absolutely. So it's making it kind of, so that is the whole thing, right? So avijja, so remember the science. So you kind of you see the subject and you say, okay, how to, so you break it down, isn't it, into smaller chewable particles, as they say.
Yes, the steps I can take. I cannot go. I'm. Oh, sure. I will let go of ignorance. That's no problem. Well, I have to do it in steps.
Absolutely. Letting go of ignorance is a huge project. So yeah, we've cultivated it so much in so many lives. It's like a huge snowball. And it's like we can't stop the snowball.
100%. 100%.
Very good, absolutely. Good point. So okay, so shall we finish our talk today? Do you have any other questions?
Everything is clear for now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I will do a quick blessing and then we will finish. So thank you everyone for joining, and to Marco and Nemanja as well for coming in and joining us on our little Dhamma discussion. So I feel so blessed that people are joining us, and thank you, Alex, for recording this so many people can obviously listen to it and hopefully join us in the future. So I will do a little blessing before we finish. Bhavatu Sabba Mangalang Rakhantu Sabba Devata Sabba Buddhanupavena Sada Sati Bhavantu Te Bhavatu Sabba Mangalang Rakhantu Sabba Devata Sabba Dhammanupavena Sada Sati Bhavantu Te Bhavatu Sabba Mangalang Rakhantu Sabba Devata Sabba Sanghanupavena Sada Sati Bhavantu Te. So many blessings to Alex, Vanya, and Nemanje, and Marco who joined us today, and anyone who will be listening to this Dhamma talk. And blessings to all of you to have health in your life, peace in your hearts, success in everything that you do with good intention, and have the courage and effort to practice this noble Dhamma path to reach enlightenment in this very lifetime. And we remember the two blessings to all living beings on our planet Earth, our solar system, our universe, to the infinite universe, to the celestial beings that look after us, to all beings that are in need of any blessings to go on their journey. May they receive blessings and go on to peaceful lives. And we also remember anyone who is sick at this time or who is in need of blessings from us for any healing. May they all receive blessings to have health in their lives and peace in their hearts. Also, we're going through very difficult times of extreme weather conditions on our planet Earth. So it is of course due to the natural process of all occurrences, but may we wish all beings that are in difficulty due to fires or storms or extreme weather patterns, may they all be safe, may they all be well. So thank you everyone, and we will see each other next week, and always stay blessed. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone. So Laknoj, Punavadis.
Laku noć. Bye bye.
Очень приятно.